Welcome to another episode of the Layman's Guide to the World Cup. My name's Henry, and we're on to Group H, which has two very interesting teams and two other teams that are okay. So it's hard to say if this is better than the first couple groups or not. It has a potential champion in this group. And you have another team that is strong. So let's get to it. First, we throwing the elephant out of the room is Spain, who is one of the clear favorites to win this World Cup. How this team has been playing, how this talent is, has the potential to, they're the people, they're the guys, they're going to make it happen. But really, it's about the obstacles along the way. Are they able to face adversity? Because the last World Cup, they only made it to the round of 16. So you're like, Henry, how can they go to favorites after the 16? Well, they're a very young team. And a lot of these young players have now had a World Cup to experience. So you have a lot of these players that have experienced what a World Cup's like. Then after that World Cup, they won the Euros in 2024. So they know what it's like to win a major tournament. The structure's there. The bones are there. So they're only getting more and more experiencing both on the club level and the national team level. So that makes all the difference in the world. So can this team be a little bit of an echo of the 2008, 2010, 2012 Euro World Cup Euro team? So this last time Spain won the World Cup was in 2010. They've won it once, and that was from that one team. And there's a lot of players that kind of mirror this team, that team. That's where the iconic Busquets, Xavi, Alonso, Xavi, and Iniesta midfield came from. And so there's some players that are kind of replicating that and are helping Spain to be this global level team. So can they do it again? They were they walked. It was a walk in the park to qualify for the World Cup for them. And but the players you need to watch for is Rodri, their captain. He won the Ballon d'Or off of that, which is the best player in the world. It's a very historic and prestigious award. He won it off of the 2024 Euros. His performance there. So will he be able to hold the middle of the park for this team and kind of be their enforcer, along with another player? He's very young at the last World Cup and played almost every minute, and that's Pedri, who also plays for Barcelona. And so he's only gotten more experience since that last World Cup. From the Euros to just playing for Barcelona in general, it's caused him to get a lot of experience both in big games. So he should be able to carry that forward here. Then you have the phenom, Laymen Yamal, 18-year-old that's lighting the world on fire with his ability and pace, and he is showing up in big games. So that becomes the question: what will he do in this World Cup? And he's a big factor in how they won the Euros. And he's been a big factor for Barcelona. So, what was he going to do? So, like I said, there's tons of players we could list off for this team. They have a wealth of talent. But what is a failure for them? I think quarters are a failure. Honestly, I think the expectations are so high for Spain that anything but semifinals is a failure for them. So that kind of tells you the level of expectation on this team to be the next champions, because that's where I can see they're going to make it to the final. Them and France, they're the two teams that are like, will they make it to the final? And it's like, yeah, they have really good odds because of the talent level they have, and it's not just like a national team where they just have a bunch of talent, but it's actually a bunch of talent that plays well together. So we'll see. They're going to be one of the teams to watch this tournament because they're going to. I think they could be a team that's extremely dominant, and it'll show. And this group allows them to do that because of the other 3 teams that are in it. So that leads us to the other team, Cape Verde. This is their debut in the World Cup. They're a little island nation off of Africa. They used to be a Portuguese colony, and they're the definition of happy to be here. I mean, they're not an extraordinary team. Like, this is a Cinderella story here. They're one of the smallest nations in the World Cup, and they've made it through to their first World Cup. So I think they're going to be this underdog. Are they going to cause some problems for other teams? Because really, when you start to get to their best players, like someone like Ryan Mendes, he plays in the Turkish second division. He's like one of their best players, top goal scorers all time, and appearances. And you have Vozinha, who plays in the second division of Portugal. Like, these are not top tier leagues that they're playing in. So, will this be a team that, because they play together, because of just the vibes of being here, can they make more of what they are? So, with this group, I think they're going to be grouped. They're probably one of the teams I'm most sure will be grouped. But I could see a third place. You know, they could fight for third place. I think they could. And that would be a success, especially getting into the round of 32. But I don't think anything beyond that. It will be a Cinderella story if they're able to do that, but I don't think so. And that leads us to the other team, which is Saudi Arabia, which looking at some information before, doing this episode, the last time they got out of the group stage, and the only time they've gotten out of the group stage in the World Cup, was the last time the World Cup was in America in 1994. So, can they make that happen again? It's a real question. They didn't, in their Asian qualifying, they did not win their group. They got moved on to the second group stage, and that's how they got through. So there's no dominance. They did have an interesting thing in the last World Cup where they beat the eventual winners, Argentina, in the group stage. It was like this surprise win. And these guys don't play for any top leagues or anything like that. I mean, only one of their players, Saad Abdelhamid, plays for Lens in France Ligue 1. Other than that, they all play in the Saudi Arabian League. But the thing is, though, these players know each other well and have played each other a lot. You got their captain who will be holding down the center of the midfield, Salim El Dwasari, plays for El Hilal, and then you also have Faris El Barakan, who plays for Al Ahly. Hopefully I pronounced some of these correctly, I hope. But these guys know each other. They're all playing in the Saudi Arabian League outside of Syed Abdelhamid. They know each other. They know each other well. They've been playing. A lot of these players have been playing together well. So I think this will fall into the category of a lot of Asian teams that really it's about the team gelling and playing well together, and that can be better than any talent. So we'll see with Saudi Arabia. They're gonna, I think, a third place spot in the group. That sounds reasonable for them, making it to the round of 32. But I don't see much beyond that, just with the strength of the other teams in this World Cup. So we'll see with them. Then you have the team that more likely will get the second place. This is a giant that needs to return to form. That's Uruguay. They won the 1930. That's the first World Cup. And 1950 World Cup. So they were the two-time champs, but it's what have you done for me lately? I mean, this team is usually consistently competitive. They got third place in Copa America in 2024. But last World Cup, they got grouped. So it's what are they going to do? But they have a lot of good players, a lot of individual talent, with probably the highlight being Federico Valverde, who plays for Real Madrid, who will be holding up the middle of the park. is probably their best player. So will he make some magic happen? But you still have experienced people like your captain, Jose Maria Jimenez, who plays for Atletico Madrid. He'll be holding down the defense. The place for this team is going to be weak because they don't have Luis Suarez anymore. They didn't call him up. He's retired. And can Darwin Nunez, who plays for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, can he kind of hold up the front line? Because that's where this team is going to fall apart, is in that front line, that attacking part. Because even if Darwin Nunez is their best player up top, it's fair to say he has not done a lot lately. His time in Saudi Arabia has been pretty miserable. So, what does that mean for them? I think they'll be second place in this group. One thing they have an advantage is the atmosphere and environment here in America. Their players are used to the heat, humidity, so that'll get them far. So, I see them going through to the round of 32. And I think anything less than that is a failure for them. Because they're this old, ancient, strong team that has a history of, winning and doing stuff well. And then I can see them to the round of 16, depending on their opponent. But after the round of 16, I think they're a good team. I think they're in the top half best teams in the tournament, so the top 24 teams. But I don't think they get past. I don't think they're in the top 16 teams in this tournament. If that makes sense to y'all at home. I don't think they're good enough. Specifically with that attack. I think that's what's going to really hurt them. Where are the goals going to come from? Are they going to come from Verde in the midfield with other guys like Bentacar? Are they going to make some magic come out of the midfield? Or, the attack, attacks are important. I mean, they have a solid defense, they have a solid midfield, so defense wins championships, I think is always the quote. But if you have no one to put it in the back of the net, what's going to happen then? That's the question. So we'll see with them. Like I said, I think round of 16 is a likely. I just don't see past that. So with this group, you have two strong teams with Spain and Uruguay, and you have Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde. Cape Verde is this Cinderella story. Can they make things happen? Can Saudi Arabia be a cohesive unit to, punish some teams? Because they have a history of doing it, so it wouldn't be unlikely. It's just like I said, they beat Argentina in the group stage in their first game of the World Cup, and Argentina went on to win it all. Maybe that's a thing with them. Maybe they beat Spain in the group stage, but that's what Spain needed to win the whole tournament. You never know. So we'll see with them, with this group. There's a clear favorite in the group, and the others is kind of what's going to happen. So with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good day.